Right, just a quick little bit about receive side scaling, or RSS. So I'm just going to quickly show you where it's enabled. That it's enabled by default, and it just helps improve network throughput by distributing the load from the network input-output across multiple CPUs rather than just using one. So it kind of spreads the load across the CPUs to make it so it can deal with the request faster. Hence why it's on by default. Right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly get up my control panel. I'm going to go to Device Manager, get onto my network adapter. I'm just going to show you one, Advanced, and then Receive Side Scaling. So I've got it enabled, so we know that it's on. You could switch that off if you really wanted to, but generally it just helps improve performance. So to change some of the settings is if I go get net adapter RSS, they'll show me what they are on at the moment. The default is NUMA static, and I can change those using the set net adapter command, and I've just got to put in the name of whichever one I'm dealing with. So I'm going to go for Ethernet, and I can change the profile. So I could change it to the closest static, NUMA scaling static, which is what it's on, or conservative scaling. That the closest can reduce CPU utilization and is what Server 2008 generally used. The closest static does the same as closest, other than it has no dynamic load balancing. NUMA scaling, it moves around the CPUs in a round robin basis, and NUMA is essentially you've got a cluster of CPUs around a central memory, and they're able to all access that memory, so it kind of makes them a lot quicker. So it's kind of, that one just works on a round robin basis. Then there's NUMA scaling static, where it again does the same as NUMA scaling, other than that there's no dynamic load balancing. And then there's conservative scaling, which we can use to use as few processors as possible. NUMA stands for non-uniform memory access. So it's essentially that they can all go to the memory, but they choose the closest one to it and then choose round it. Right, so I'm going to change it to, let's go for closest. I see. It's because I've forgotten to put RSS. Set net adapter RSS. There we go. And then when I put in get, we can now see I've changed it to closest. Unfortunately on this one at the moment I can't really change much else. I could change the base processor, so what number it starts at. So if you wanted to reserve some of the processors for a certain process and wanted it to start afterwards, so if I did base processor say 2, and that would leave 0 and 1 free, and then 2, so that would, and made max processors 2, they'd start on 2 and use 3, so 2 and 3. So I could do that just by adding base processor 2 and then max processor 2. That's the reason I've just gone mad and not, it wants number max processor and max processors. Yeah, I'm just going mad. Okay, but it's base processor number and max processors. It's always the thing with PowerShell, got to make sure you, let's just clear the screen and then we'll get the net adapter RSS again. Whoops, put it in the space, just so that we can see that. Unfortunately, because I've only got one processor, it will always say max processor 1 because I've only got one. Okay, that's about receive side scaling.